partnerships and Veterans Yoga Project, Wounded Warrior Project, and other national platforms, Mr. Ward is making transformative wellness reachable for those in need most. So with hearts open and our spirits lifted, let us welcome our 2025 commencement speaker.
Hey, everybody in attendance. I say hey, like that formal, like hello. I like hey y'all, hey. Hey, everybody in attendance, and 2025 official inaugural graduates of Raising Pheonix Temple University. Give yourselves a round of applause. So again, I'm Cortez, and I really want to thank y'all for the opportunity to celebrate with y'all on this special day. I want to offer a sincere congratulations because the path that y'all have chosen in the field of holistic wellness as well as public health proves y'all commitment to helping others, which is invaluable and a skill. And I say public health because through your newly awarded credentials, y'all will be helping others improve their health outcomes. And that's what we do in public health. Through your studies in Reiki, spiritual healing, spiritual protection, nutrition, metaphysics, and more, they all have some scientific evidence in public health, believe it or not. So even your studies in indigenous and tribal sovereignty and leadership have taught you that not everything is in the books either, right? We know that. And so we know the truth in divinity and intuition, the power of meditation and manifestation. And we know the effects of energy healing. Science just hasn't quite caught up yet. Science can't yet explain why the placebo effect works. And I think most of the graduates here probably could, if they really thought about it, figure out why the placebo effect works. It's manifestation. Maybe among a few others, but basically in these clinical trials with the placebo, they give one group the treatment for an ailment, and then they give the other group a fake treatment, like a sugar pill or something. But they still end up finding that the people who had the placebo still had positive results. So why? Why do people? The placebo effect works. It's manifestation. And because the people administering it, they gave them the sugar pill and said, this is going to heal you. And they believed that it was going to heal them. And it works. It's manifestation. And so manifestation itself actually has its own scientific evidence in public health too. It's just researched under the term positive thinking. And in those studies, the people who thought positive or listened to positive music or watch positive videos, they actually were less sick. After a few weeks, they were actually less sick than the people, their peers, who were doing the opposite, listening to negative music and thinking negative thoughts. So that's manifestation. And there's more and more studies that are making some of these connections between science and holistic or Ayurvedic methodologies and metaphysics. So we're making more and more connections. And we have the opportunity to contribute to this by proving that these connections exist through our practices and then spreading the benefits. also want to congratulate y'all because of your hard work. Somebody mentioned it was hard work. And then for some of y'all, maybe it was easy and it came naturally, right? You know? But either way, it was to accomplish the same goal. A bachelor's degree, doing the same work, educating and healing. I think that's what it comes down to, right? Educating and healing. And I mentioned hard work and easy work because some things were hard work for me and some things were kind of easy and more natural. So I started my holistic wellness journey after getting laid off from a 9-to-5 doing like IT work because the company lost the contract that I was on. So I just sat for a few weeks, literally taking time for myself. And you know, at that time, I didn't know that was called grounding, but when I took the time for myself, I took a few weeks off, didn't work, and I was just doing my own thing. And after a few weeks, I really thought about what I wanted for myself and my career, two different things. And so after taking that time and getting grounded, I decided to follow my intuition and do what my number one passion is, what it was and what it still is. It's to help others. And so I got my personal trainer certification with a focus on functional fitness. I started personal training just to make some money because I have no job. And then I started going back to school, college at 33 years old. And so I started the nonprofit because I was already helping people, and my mission was to bring affordable and holistic health and fitness to individuals and communities using a variety of health support services. And that's a nonprofit mission to me. So I started a nonprofit, did the research, started the nonprofit. So I got after that, got my yoga certification, Reiki certification through my lovely sister, Lilia. And my bachelor's in health science. We mentioned some of the stuff. And I started my master's in public health. And I did all of that to really just put it all together and further inform how I was helping people. I wanted to help people more. So the more knowledge, the more stuff we learn, we can give it to others. So through this whole process, I was never really stressed because it was actually fun, and it came pretty natural for me. I ain't gonna lie. The only hard work was like Algebra 2 and Tampa traffic. that was kind of hard. I'm still doing personal training with some of my original clients today, and honestly, that's where I get my most fulfillment. And so I say all of this to just say that my personal experience was my motivator, and my empathy and passion was my guide. And one day, I will have multiple CTC, Cortez Training Centers, the nonprofit. I will have multiple CTC centers across the world.
Yes.
Manifestation.
Yes.
So, using all my current skills and experience and understanding that a holistic view of the whole person is profoundly beneficial to the health and wellness of an individual, I found myself needing this approach in my own personal journey. So from a kid all the way up to, let me get my stuff together here. So from a kid all the way up through my teens, I used to get these dizzy spells, what I call like episodes. And I never really thought too much about it, never really told anybody about it. I joined the Army when I was 17, and during training they did all the testing and told me I had something called G6PD deficiency, or what we just call G6PD. And basically I just needed to stay away from fava beans and primaquine, which is an anti-malarial drug. So I didn't make any connections between this and the episodes I was having as a kid. And so I just kept doing what I always did, except eating fava beans, which I never really did anyway. I like black eyed peas and all the good stuff, but fava beans, I don't really eat fava beans like that. So even as an adult, I kept having these episodes and they seemed to be getting worse. And so I just started making connections to things that I was consuming or being exposed to, like red wine, blueberries, soy, just weird stuff, random, very common items. And I'm like, man, this is making me have these episodes. And so I decided to start doing research and found way more information than what they had told me about it. And I finally made the big connection that there's way more triggers, what we call like triggers. It's kind of like an allergy. There's way more triggers for G6PD than just fava beans. And so in those little episodes that I was having as a kid could actually be classified as focal seizures, mild focal seizures. In my studies now I know what they were. And so they usually call them focal aware because some people that have them, they may just kind of stand there and stare. And so in the last few years, I actually developed sleep apnea. It's very common in the US and everything. And that combined with these little focal seizures ended up causing me to have grand mal seizures, which are the shaken ones. So I had them at night. Freaked my wife out, but she's good with it now. I also noticed a little bit of cognitive decline and like some fogginess and a little bit of in like learning and short-term memory. I noticed a little bit of decline in that. I'm 38, you know, my birthday this year, I'll be 39 this year, so, you know, it's not age-related, but over the time, we call it chronic illness. If you have stuff over years and years, some of the symptomology can get worse over the years. So some of these things started happening as I'm older. Now, I don't want y'all to feel bad about all this. I know this is going down a little bit. It's all good. Since finding out all of this, well, first of all, I'm still above average. I've tested in college for my memory and learning, and I'm actually still above average in there, so I'm all good with that. And then I have a CPAP for my sleep apnea, so I'm good, so everything's all good. And I'm obviously way more careful with everything I consume. However, when trying to talk to doctors about this, about these connections between, you know, the G6PD, cognitive issues, and long-term effects of it, they just say, maybe, that there may be some connections there, and stay away from fava beans and primaquine. So there are potential treatments that they're studying right now. There's being research on G6PD, but the primary one is to basically avoid everything. And so along with this, the highest prevalence of G6PD just in the US is actually in black males with about 1 out of 10. So 1 out of 10 black males in the US actually have it. Through my studies, in my estimation, it's about 6 out of 10 of them don't even know they have it. Or if they know they have it, they were told what I was once told and probably don't forgot about it and don't know, they don't understand it. So, and testing for it is not even mandatory in the US. Testing for it at birth, it's not mandatory. So all of this doesn't sit right with me for obvious reasons, right? So in my master's degree in public health, I wrote a literature review compiling as much information as I could and comparing all the studies that were out there about G6PD. I confirmed that I knew more about G6PD than basically everything that was out there because of my lived experience as a case study. Part of CTC goals is to raise awareness about G6PD, provide the most comprehensive information about it, conduct and publish clinical research proving the connection between G6PD, dementia, and Alzheimer's, and then advocate for mandatory testing. So this is my personal lived experience, my passion, and will be one of my many impacts to holistic and public health manifestation. So I'll leave all y'all with this. Many people believe that competing in the markets is primary for success in your career. But I find that in our field, being myself and doing what I'm passionate about is primary. I think that working together and sharing our collective knowledge is way more beneficial for all parties than just trying to monetize off of it. Authenticity is something that those in our field are really good at recognizing, and many other people can feel it too. So using your personal experience and coming from a place of empathy and passion is the energy that others will pick up. I promise. Y'all chose this field for the same reason I did, because something from your current or past life experience was the motivator, and your empathy and passion to help others was your guide. So let those, and now your education and skills, drive you to impact the lives of others. Thank you, and once again, congratulations, 2025 inaugural RPTU graduates.